Are you trying to decide between original Medicare and Medicare Advantage plans? Understanding this question is a very popular concern I hear every day from clients. In this video, we're going to break down exactly what original Medicare is and how that compares to Medicare Advantage plans. Hello, my name is Edwin John Rodriguez, your health insurance representative. And on this channel, we discuss all things health insurance with a focus on Medicare and ACA plans. As an insurance broker, I represent tons of companies helping my clients shop, compare, and enroll in plans based on their specific needs. The best part is my help is completely free. The way I get paid is whichever insurance company you choose to enroll with is the one that pays me for my time. The federal government actually standardizes my compensation, ensuring that conversations are free from bias. So if you're needing help with your health insurance, consider giving us a call and see why clients consider me their 5-star resource. Original Medicare is broken down into two main parts: Medicare Part A and Medicare Part B. Medicare Part A is free. As long as you work 10 years in the United States, you're going to automatically qualify for Medicare Part A when you turn 65. Whether you decide to go with Medicare or not, 3 months before your 65th birthday, you're going to receive your Medicare card in the mail. If you're drawing Social Security, you're going to automatically receive your Medicare Part B activated on your Medicare card. And if you're not drawing Social Security, you're going to have to actually manually enroll into Medicare Part B, again, 3 months before your birth month of turning 65. Now, Medicare Part A is going to cover you for anything related to hospitalization or inpatient care. Medicare Part B is going to cover you for anything outpatient, anything outside of the hospital. Your cost associated with Medicare Part A is going to be a $1,676 deductible. Whether you're in the hospital for 1 day, 2 days, 10 days, you're going to be responsible for a deductible of $1,676. And that's going to cover you for anything that's taking place while you're admitted in the hospital. If you're there past 60 days, there's an additional copayment for any day past day 60. The second part to your Medicare is Medicare Part B. The cost of your Medicare Part B premium is generally about $185 per month. Now, that does depend on your income during your working years, but the Medicare Part B covers you for anything outpatient. Is going to be anything outside of the hospital. Assuming you have only Medicare, in the event of anything outpatient, you're going to have a deductible of $185. Now, that deductible is required first before Medicare is responsible for their portion of coverage of their 80%. After you pay your $257 deductible, then you're responsible for 20% co-insurance for any remaining services. Now, some features related to standard Medicare is regular Medicare does not have a network, meaning any doctor that accepts Medicare is going to accept your program. So you don't have to worry about going onto a directory or a list of doctors that cover their plan. You just simply ask your doctor, hey, doctor, do you take Medicare? Generally, the answer is going to be yes. If so, you're good to go. Medicare is going to cover their portion and you're responsible for your differences. As far as your costs related to Medicare, again, you have deductibles associated with your Medicare. For Part A, your deductible is $1,676. Again, whether you're there 1 day to 60 days, it's a flat deductible of $1,676. In the Medicare Part B, there's again the deductible of $257 plus your co-insurances of your 20% on top of that. Now, the problem with original Medicare is that you don't have a maximum out of pocket. There's no MOOP when it comes to original Medicare. And remember, the MOOP is your safety net. Think of it as your safety net. So God forbid you have a catastrophic year, you're guaranteed never to spend more than X amount of dollars per year for given services. Again, with original Medicare, you don't have that safety net. So essentially, you can be paying 20% on deductibles until the cows come home. That can get really expensive. And that's based on a calendar year. Also, with original Medicare, you do have to add Part D drug coverage separately, meaning you have to add drug plan as an individual policy in addition to your original Medicare. By doing so, your Part D drug plans will be additional premium. You pay a separate premium for that. And then you have your co-payments and co-insurances, sometimes even deductibles related to the prescription drug plans as well. With original Medicare, you're going to want to purchase some other type of coverage. No one's going to ever want to be stuck with just straight Medicare because there's no safety net. There's no max out of pocket. So I recommend my clients do purchase something as another option. In this case, Medicare supplement is one of your options that you can add in addition to your Medicare. Depending on where you live, the premiums for your Medicare supplements can range anywhere between $80 and go as high as $200-$300 per month, depending on your zip code and a few other factors. With original Medicare, you don't have any additional extras. So things like dental, vision, hearing, gym membership, again, prescription drug plan, those are all separate coverages that you have to buy individually should you decide to go with original Medicare or original Medicare and a standalone supplemental policy. Now, in contrast, you have the option of Medicare Advantage plans. The way Medicare Advantage plans work is rather than Medicare being responsible for 80% of your health care and you having to purchase a supplemental policy to fill in those gaps and a drug plan separately, rather than that, Medicare says this: hey, private insurance companies, how about we pay you guys a set amount every month to take care of anyone, whether you're sick, healthy, happy, sad, traveling, staying put, doesn't matter. Medicare is going to be funding the private insurance company of your choice a set amount every month to take care of you. Whether you need the coverage or not, Medicare is funding the policy in the background. Now, in turn, these plans are called Medicare Part C. That's another term you might have heard of called. So Medicare Advantage plans are also called Medicare Part C. And the way they do this is they combine your Medicare's A and B, as you see here. And they also add the Part D, add the drug coverage, which equals Part C. So that's the math of it all. It's A plus B plus D equals C. Don't know, but that's how it goes. With Medicare Advantage plans, you also have networks. So you want to make sure that the doctors that are important to you do participate with your plan. My team and I actually help our clients on a daily basis with exactly this, of understanding the differences between going with original Medicare with a supplement or going with an Advantage plan. If you're going with an Advantage plan, you want to make sure, again, that the doctors that are important to you do participate with the plan that you're interested in. With Medicare Advantage plans, they're generally going to come as three different types of networks. You have traditional HMOs, which is going to have a network of doctors you must use. And generally, you require referrals on most HMOs in order to see specialists. You also have a point of service plan, the POS, which are going to be similar to an HMO where you have a defined network of providers that you can use. But generally, with the point of service plan, you do not require referrals to see specialists. Here in Central Florida, one of my very popular plans is with United Healthcare. They actually have a point of service plan that has a lot of the costs very similar to an HMO, but a lot of the flexibility similar to a PPO, meaning the client does not require referrals and they have nationwide coverage with that. So it's kind of a hybrid between an HMO and a PPO. Now, with a PPO, you have a network of doctors as well. You have the flexibility to go out of network if you wanted to or needed to. And with a PPO, you do not require referrals. So you can go directly to specialists at your leisure. Generally, with Medicare Advantage plans, there's little to no deductible, meaning you're not going to have to come out of pocket hundreds or thousands of dollars. Day one, when your coverage begins, you can go directly to a specialist, a hospital, emergency room, outpatient procedure. And on most plans, there's going to be little to no deductible, generally no deductible, but some do have a little bit of deductible associated with them. With Advantage plans as well, you do have copays. So you are going to pay for services that you seek. So in the event of this, you pay that, you go here, you pay that, so on and so forth. The copays and percentages generally are going to be dependent on the actual service that you're seeking. One rule of thumb I like to tell my clients is the bigger the building, the bigger the copay. You always remember that. If you're with an Advantage plan, always remember that tip, that trick, that rule of thumb. You think of it this way, right? Primary care doctors are generally going to be $0 to $5 copayment. Specialists can range anywhere between $20 to $50, depending on the plan. Hospitals can be as much as $100 to $300 per day if you're admitted in the hospital. So again, the bigger the building, the bigger the copayment. The nice part about Medicare Advantage plans is that they do have a maximum out of pocket. So yes, you do have out of pocket when you're seeking services in the form of copayments and coinsurance, but you do have a safety net. And that safety net, again, the max out of pocket is going to be a certain amount based on whichever plan you go with, which is the maximum that you're going to spend in the calendar year. God forbid you have a catastrophic year, a lot of doctors, hospitals, visits, surgeries, or the big C, cancer. With Medicare Advantage plans, they actually include extras as well. So you do have additional items that are built into the policies, items like dental, vision, hearing, gym membership, prescription drug plan, a charming and good-looking representative like myself, I might add. Just kidding. I'm available for you with all of these plans. Now, I wouldn't suggest buying a Medicare Advantage plan just for the extras. The analogy I like to use, it's you're buying a house because you like the bushes. Well, you can always change the bushes, right? The best way to buy a plan is really based on your individual needs. So is it working for you as far as your provider network? Is it palatable as far as your actual cost to seek services, your monthly premium, things like that? Those extras you can always add on later individually if you go this route, or in this case, if it's included here. A lot of times it's going to be a good fit for what's automatically included. But again, you can also go and edit that and add on additional benefits later should you need to. So you're probably wondering, who's really going to benefit from which type of plan? Well, it's never really a one size fits all. And that's where my team and I come in and make sure we personalize your plan selection based on your specific needs. Generally, though, what I tell folks is if you have more than a handful of doctors and more than a handful of medications, then often the supplemental policies are going to be a little bit more advantageous for you. You're not going to have to worry about searching networks to make sure your doctors that are important to you do take your plan. Now, that's not always a one size fits all answer, but it's a rule of thumb that I use to help kind of guide my clients with identifying which plan makes the most sense for their needs. It's not to say that if you become sick or if you're on an Advantage plan and you see your needs changing later down the road and you say, hey, buyer's remorse, I should have been on this type of coverage. That's not the case. I have plenty of clients with tons of doctors, tons of medications that are with Advantage plans as well. Again, it really comes down to your individual needs. But a rule of thumb, it coming out of the gates, if you do have more needs than the average Joe, you're probably going to have a smoother experience with a supplemental policy because, again, the feature of the no network and no out of pocket, assuming you pair it with a plan G as in goal, Medicare supplement, you're really going to be limited as far as any out of pockets. You're not have to worry about being nickeled and dimed when you're seeking care or services. For Medicare Advantage plan clients, these are generally going to be folks that have minimal needs. Maybe they just have a handful of doctors that are going to be within the network of one of the many plans that we work with, or in some cases, based on budget. Some clients, maybe the budget of these Advantage plans, again, being little to no premium, are generally going to be a little bit better of a fit for folks sometimes. With the Medicare Advantage plans, you'll just want to make sure that the doctors that are important to you do take the plan in which you enroll. So the way my team and I help our clients is what we do is first identify who are your doctors. So we want to make sure the doctors that are important to you are going to participate with whichever route you decide to go. Generally, with original Medicare, there is no network. So as long as your doctor takes Medicare, you're good. With Advantage plans, you do want to make sure that the doctors that are important to you are on that plan. You also want to consider your lifestyle goals. So you have things like, do you travel a lot? Do you spend time in another city, state, zip code? If that's the case, a supplement plan may be better for you, or even a PPO version of an Advantage plan, which allows for nationwide coverage. Now, with that said, some folks think that the HMOs are limited to just their service area, and that is true for scheduled care, meaning you know you're going to the doctors. But if you have an emergency or an urgent situation, all of these options are going to cover you nationwide in the event of an emergency or urgent situation. So there's no network at that point. You get your care and your treatment wherever you need to at whatever time you need to nationwide. Again, my team and I will help you identify which plan makes the most sense based on your individual needs. It's not a sales quota or a personal goal here. We're actually compensated the same across the board with most of these plans here. So we have no bias in the conversation. Our goal is to make sure that you love your plan, you love us, you give us 5 stars in Google, and we're friends for 100 years, right? That's my goal. But we understand needs change. These plans can change a little bit. And that's why we pride ourselves on being a long-term resource with our clients. So if you ever see your needs change, no problem. Give us a call. You have a time every year between October 15th and December 7th to actually make edits to this should you need to. Now, again, that's not my goal. My goal is to get it right the first time. You love it. You love me. Again, the 5 stars in Google, friends for 100 years, right? That's our goal. But again, if you ever need to make an edit, we can always go back to the drawing board if necessary. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the real difference between original Medicare and Medicare Advantage plans. If you found this information helpful today, consider giving the video a like. It really helps others find this video too. And of course, if you have questions, be sure to drop them in the comment section below. I read each and every one of them personally. And if you already know which route you'd like to go, we've included a link in the description section below, which will allow you to go and enroll into a plan of your choice. If you're looking for more personalized guidance, we've included a link in the description that connects you to our calendar. You can find a time and date that works for you. We'll help guide you through picking a plan that truly represents your individual needs. Medicare rules are always changing, and being subscribed to the channel is also going to ensure that you're staying up to date with Medicare as that information comes out. And if you've enjoyed this video, I recommend considering watching this video here too.